Okay, guys and girls, you're doing a renovation on your strata unit or townhouse and you get in trouble. We have got Professor Greg Williamson, who is a professor. I'm saying is a professor in strata because it sounds good, but this man knows everything about strata. We're going to talk about renovating. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Morning, Greg. Thanks for coming on.
Morning, Billy.
Hey,
That
Greg.
is what a lot of people need in their lives. 1 in 7 living in strata these days. 1 in 7 families are living in strata. This applies to a lot of people.
That's a big number.
It's going to get worse. 2035, they estimate it's going to be 50%.
Wow.
Oh. So,
So-
ladies and gentlemen, this is a live show. So, any strata questions you want to throw at Uncle Greg, throw them at him. Just right into the comments. So I think it's Novak Properties Facebook will take your comments, and we can have them live here.
Yep. So, thinking of renovating, this is the person to talk to, really, if you've got no idea where to start. Greg, just briefly, give us a quick 30-second snapshot of your business.
Okay, Stedman Williamson Hart is a specialist strata firm. Unlike all the other strata firms that throughout New South Wales,
Yep.
we only do compulsory management. In other words, we're ordered by the court to administer the entire owners corporation. So there's the owners corporation's been found dysfunctional. That can be through a numerous aspects. We're appointed to get the building and the owners corporation back into compliance, and once that's been that term's been expired, and that's normally 12 months to 2 years, we hand the building back, and we don't keep going as the strata managers. So we have a very special set of skills in our firm, and as I said, we're appointed by the tribunal, NCAT, and we will make sure that the building is 100% compliant, and then we hand the owners corporation back, and then they can go and find their normal strata managers.
You're like strata soup.
Yes, yeah. People either do love us because we do get the building back into compliance. If the underlying issue has been just owners that are infighting, we can't fix that. We're there to fix the building and make them compliant. And the problem with strata at the moment, we deem it is now the fourth tier of government. There is so much legislation that overlays being in an owners corporation.
I love that.
Yeah, it keeps us into the tribunal, but we have numerous contacts through the industry. You know, engineers, builders, solicitors, you name it. We have to have those professionals sitting behind us because we trust them, and the tribunal trusts us, and the tribunal therefore trusts our contractors. But today's topic is one that if you haven't already undertaken a renovation in your strata unit, eventually you will, because they need updating. You know, people love to renovate.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Greg, just a quick
Yeah,
one.
sure.
What's changed? Because I have been an agent for over 30 years, and doing a kitchen or a bathroom in a unit, most of the time, just get shit done.
Absolutely.
Now, if you try to pull that off, you're potentially always in trouble.
In essence, well, the Act changed in 2015, and it's made it a lot more compliant on affecting renovations. When I first started in strata, and when you did a bylaw for a renovation, it may have been lot one is authorised to do a kitchen renovation, and that was the extent of the bylaw. Current bylaws, and the problem with that is that no one knew what that renovation meant or what that entailed. So today, a standard bathroom renovation will run probably 4 or 5 pages of terms, conditions, and it makes it crystal clear of what actually is happening in the unit. What people sometimes don't understand is when they've purchased a strata unit, in essence, they've purchased airspace. I jokingly say it's the most expensive thing you've paid for nothing, because you own the airspace in essence. And the four walls that surround it are common property, the floors are common property, the roof is common property. When you're standing in your shower and the tiles on the shower, that's common property. And that's where a lot of people start having issues. So currently in strata, there's 3 types of renovations, and they come broken down into 3 categories. Cosmetic, and I'll go into these in more detail. So you've got cosmetic, minor, and major. And cosmetic is very, very simple. It's including installing, replacing hooks or screws for hanging pictures, internal painting and minor painting. And that's basically straightforward. You do not need owners' corporations approval. You just can go ahead and do it. We do recommend, however, if you're going to do that you do notify your strata manager and possibly even leave a couple of notices on the notice board, just advising people that you are doing cosmetic work, and get that clarified by your strata manager of the day. And because people will sit back and go, what are they doing? What's happening? We're seeing trades coming in and out, and you'll end up having more communications going backwards and forwards trying to justify what you're doing. And if you just put the notice on the notice board, you've spoken to the strata manager, he understands what we're doing, and it's doing cosmetic work. End of story.
Right.
We then move into the second category, which is minor renovations. And this is where people really can start becoming unstuck. A minor renovation is renovating a kitchen, changing your recess in your lighting, replacing wood or other hardwood floors, installing and replacing wiring and cable to your power access points, or work involving reconfiguring walls. Now, the reconfiguring walls will have to be deemed non-structural walls. You will need to set up a full detail of the scope of works. You'll need to provide your strata manager all your detailed plans, your contractors and so on and so forth, but you don't require a bylaw, but you still require that application to go onto an agenda at a general meeting, and it has to be approved by 50% or just over 50% of the owners who attend that meeting. Once that's done, you can start. Then you move into what they classify major works, and then major works start getting a lot more complicated. You'll need a lot more detail in your plans. Your scope of works have to be completely detailed. You have to do a bylaw, and this again is where, with due respect to some solicitors that draft bylaws, they will draft a bylaw for the work that's involved in your unit, but they fail to actually cover off how are you going to protect the lift if you've got lifts, lift covers requirement. How are you going to protect the common property carpet? Are you putting runners down? Are you collecting it? How often are you cleaning? If you're chasing in walls, in other words, making a hole in the wall, you're going to have a lot of dust created. you've also then got to look at how you're going to get rid of the waste material in your major works. So if you're ripping up a bathroom tile, as soon as you hear the word waterproofing, you instantly move into major works, and therefore you've got to have these bylaws drafted, and they've got to be very, very specific. And
So, Greg, I got a bit lost there. The one between minor and major. So, kitchen was minor,
yes,
but bathroom is major.
soon as you hit, as soon as you're doing a bathroom, you're on common property, and that becomes major. So even if you decide to say, I don't want to rip up the tiles, I just want to lay tiles over the existing tiles, the tiles on the bathroom floor are common property, and therefore, as soon as you attach anything to common property, it becomes common property, and therefore you will require a bylaw. So a lot of people go, oh, it's cheaper if I just put another set of tiles over my tiles. Can do that, not a problem, but you will require a bylaw, and you will require it to be then a major works.
And so,
So
if you're,
go.
where's the pitfall here for the person doing the renovation? Is it lack of education, or they don't
It's
do
the
the
lack of education. Yeah, they don't do the paperwork, or they will get a bylaw drafted. It will go to the general meeting for approval,
Yep.
and a couple of owners say, look, the bylaw's not sufficient for our protection. You haven't mentioned where the skip bin's going. You haven't mentioned enough detail in the scope of work. So the bylaw then gets rejected. You can't commence work until the bylaw's actually approved. So
It's
you've
gonna
then
go.
got to go back. It goes back into the circle, and you then go back to your contractor. So the owner's corporation needs more scope. He says, "What I don't understand because I'm just a builder. What do you require?" He then goes back to the strata manager. The strata manager says it's not our role to tell you what has to go into the scope of works. They attempt again. They change. They go back to the solicitor. The solicitor then has to add more scope into the bylaw. The strata manager has to call another general meeting. All these are expenses that lot owners going to actually have to pay for. And in our experience, from getting it wrong the first time, or insufficient information in the documentation, you've got somewhere between 5 to 12 weeks of delay. So if you've
Wow.
got your contractor delayed for 12 weeks, you may be finding that you need another contractor because he's moved on and your window of time has gone. Now,
And it,
if you've got a rental property, it's normally that you're going to do these between tenants. And as we know, Sydney prices, if you're paying
Yeah,
$1,000 or
yeah,
getting
that's right.
$1,000 worth of rental, and you've
Yep.
just lost 12 weeks before you can commence, you're
That's your cost to
it's
your bathroom.
that's the cost of the bathroom. Yeah.
Billy, I can't hear you that loud, so if you could just talk up on your next question, please.
can do. Next question: Can you can't rewrite the renovation once it's been done either. So you mentioned you had a client that's tried to do the right thing. He's then gone and missed elements of his renovation, and the owners corporation is now saying get it back to the original.
That's the issue. So it's classified as unauthorised work. So if you do anything that affects common property, and as I said, that's your bathroom, if you've not been approved and go ahead with it, then the owners corporation can then seek an order from NCAT to do two things: to force him to take on that responsibility of the repairs and maintenance of the bathroom, or in a lot of cases, you will get an order from the tribunal to rip it all out and put it back to its original state. Now, a lot of people will then try to fight that in NCAT. In the case that I'm involved at the moment, it's been now running for close to 12 months, only because of delays of getting an order from NCAT, seeking an adjournment, getting more information. But he spent close to $35,000 in fighting the order. His
Oh,
own solicitors have now advised him that he will lose this case because of the unauthorised works. Tribunal takes a very dim view of people doing work on a strata building without approval, and he will be ordered to put it all back to its original state. And
oh,
his whole apartment's been renovated, and he's explained that it cost him close to $75,000 to do his renovation. So he has to pull it all out, put it all back together again, then start the process again. So a very expensive exercise of not getting it right the first time.
it's tripling the cost.
Oh, easily. And, you know, look, this is a young couple. They've got a baby on the way. You know, so they're going to have to move out. It took them 6 months to do the renovation. He was doing a lot of it himself to save costs. And
Wow.
the order will be that he can't do it. He can't rip it out himself. He will be ordered to have it professionally removed and reinstated. So,
Wow.
you know, it is a major pitfall, and NCAT is hearing these cases all the time.
So
You know,
just really,
Wow.
where's the silver lining? Where's the good news for strata owners if they want to renovate? Should they be scared? What do they need to get it
no,
right?
there's no need to be scared. All you need to do, and we've got quite a number of case studies on our website, and you know we can assist owners of going through the whole process. So one of the things that we do when someone's asked us to help with a renovation is the first thing we do is say, give us all your documentation. We will contact your builders, your contractors. Make sure they're all licensed and compliant and actually have all the licenses and waterproofing certificates. A lot of people may be a builder and they're doing bathroom reno, but they may not be licensed to do waterproofing. We'll check all that. We'll look at their scope and we will go back and say, no, the scope's not sufficient. So we will then arrange for the bylaw to be specifically drafted for their building, because a lot of buildings will also have additional bylaws of we want a deposit bond for any works to be taken. That may
Whoa.
not be, you know, with due respect to other lawyers, they won't look at the existing bylaws of that particular building. It may also have what hours they can start, where the waste bin and skip bin can be moved, and how long these works have to do. So we'll set the whole package up and then present that back to the client to be able to send that to their strata manager. There won't be a problem, and it should just get instantaneously approved. Now, in saying that, there are times when there's nothing wrong with the bylaw, there's nothing wrong with the scope of works, and it happens in strata. With due respect, and I just use these terms, a lot owner has a dislike to you for whatever reason.
Whoa.
They
Yeah.
make the bylaw fail. That's not the end of the matter. We just then advise the client what you can then do is go to the tribunal, and the tribunal application will be that my bylaw has been unreasonably refused. The NCAT will look at the reason that the other owners had voted no, and previously you only had to say no. Tribunal now wants to know on what grounds you refused to grant the bylaw. If your grounds aren't truly grounds, in other words, there's nothing wrong with the bylaw, there's nothing wrong with the scope of works, you're just trying to do a renovation, improve your asset of your own unit, tribunal will then order that the strata manager passes the bylaw and registers it. So it's removed from another vote. It will be an NCAT order that the bylaw is passed. And
Greg the Strata Guru Swami. Lisa says, such awesome info. Impossible to find this info anywhere if you're looking for it online. So you are a legend. Thank you so much for doing this with us today. I wouldn't mind getting you onto the show as a regular, talking about some of the cases that you've been doing, because these strata cases intrigue me, or they interest me. You know what people get up to and how they get themselves into bother with strata, because the more awareness out there, no less fire people are going to be walking into.
I have some beautiful cases, people they buy the ground floor unit and decide to put in a wine cellar. Just because they wanted to go through the slab and go downstairs. It's buy the penthouse apartment in a 4-story block and decide to go into the roof and make a 6-bedroom apartment. No council approval, no owners corporation approval, but yeah, there's some cases that you sit back and go, really? But this is the problem. A lot of people do not understand living in an owners corporation. It's as simple as that. But more than happy.
What if the client needs your help? How do they get in touch? Well, we've put your details here.
Well, put the details in and just send us an email. Because we do a lot of tribunal court work, it's always easier to send an email first, and then we'll contact the person and we'll just step them through it. Look, strata's not complicated; it's just complex.
What I reckon, just to give people an idea, if you're going to do a renovation and you're going to do something in your unit, and they're going to run you guys just to run the application. What's the cheapest people will get away with the application with you guys to do it properly?
Oh, look, it's
where's the start?
Look, if you sit back and go, the bylaw and the whole package and our time, look, we estimate it's roughly around about $2,500. That's just not getting the bylaw drafted. That is going through, recontacting your builders, making sure everyone's compliant. Because it's then undertaking a strata search, making sure that there's other bylaws that don't overlay, and we estimate that, look, a standard bathroom renovation is going to cost you $25,000, $30,000, depending on the quality and the work you want to do. We don't look at it as an additional cost. We see that if we can save, 10 weeks of downtime, it more than pays for itself. Yeah, the vacancy rates and getting it wrong and the delays, and even if you do get the bylaw passed and then something does happen, you don't want a bylaw that's got a loophole in it, because someone's going to then find themselves back into the tribunal arguing, what does this term mean versus what does the actual work's done. And the next thing you know, you can be defending a matter in the tribunal because the owners corporation takes a different view of the terms that have been set out in your bylaws. Getting the paperwork right is the major consideration.
So thank you very much for your time, Greg. Billy, what do you learn in conclusion from this?
Get it right the first time. It not only costs a bomb, but it will really hurt your heart having to change your renovation.
It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. I mean, I feel sorry for the people that actually have got it wrong, because it's a lot of the times it's not their fault.
It's sort of like marriage.
Yeah, get it right the first time and you're going to have a happy life.
You can pay a consultant here and just get it right the first time.
There's all the contact details. There's the website link. Jump on, have a look.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for your
much,
time,
gentlemen.
Greg. You're an absolute weapon. Yeah, unbelievable. It's stuff that it's not enough information out there I know I'm amongst 2,000 landlords and thousands of buyers and sellers and stuff, and you're a hard animal to find.
Yes, yeah. But
You're like
we're
the
here now.
Tasmanian devil.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. I'm here to assist.
Thanks, Edge.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Have a good
See
day.
ya. Bye.